So I am, how far in am I? So last year I had the bright idea that I was going to sign up for an ultra marathon, which means I'll be running 55 kilometres this July, which is approaching much faster than I thought it would be. And I'm doing this as part of my 12 fitness events in 12 months that I'm aiming to complete in 2026. And it's all fun and games and everything, but it does mean I actually have to train for all of the events. And well, to train for a long distance run, you have to run long distances. So I'm going to be taking you along for a little bit of training and I guess a little bit of a day in the life of kind of what I've got up to whilst I'm having my long run of the week, which will be actually the furthest distance I've ever actually ran of 35 kilometres. And one of the trickiest parts about training so far has been navigating it around working full time. I'm a coach and I help people lose weight and keep it off, which therefore means that I am doing my job as well as training for this ultramarathon and all of the other events that I'm doing. And the furthest that I've ever actually trained for so far is a half marathon, which means that this will be the longest distance I've ever done in a race format as well. So without further ado, let's go have the longest lunch break of my entire life and get this 35 kilometre run done. So we're about 3 kilometres in and yeah, we're cracking on just fine. Technique for keeping me entertained on this run is that for about every 7 kilometres I'm going to change entertainment medium. So first lot, nothing, enjoy the scenery, left alone with my own thoughts. Second lot, I'll be listening to a podcast. Third lot, I might change to music or I might go to my audiobook. Fourth lot, podcast audiobook. And then fifth lot, we'll see how we go in, probably music. Yeah, that's how we're going to keep me entertained. I was meant to be meeting a friend for about 7 kilometres, but she had to cancel, so by myself for all 35k today, which will be, yeah, we'll see how the thoughts do. As we hit the hour and a half mark, the negative thoughts were coming in. So I am, how far in am I? 26 plus.
You're not very good at math.
So I am about 8.5 kilometres in and yeah, we've not put the headphones in yet, which is good. So me and my own thoughts, let's go. But yeah, it's been good so far. We had 2 gels in. I was talking about how I was entertaining myself and counting gels is definitely another way. Like I need to just keep track of the time that I need between gels. I typically have one every 25 minutes. I definitely need to start experimenting with eating proper food whilst out running. At the moment I'm doing gels and like jelly packets because they're much cheaper than gels. And that's been working well on my runs, but as the distances are getting longer, I'm definitely going to need like actual food out on these runs, especially when I'm out for like 4 or 5 hours. Just having gels one after another every 25 minutes is like bleh. But yeah, we are well run so far. We're clocking in at 1 hour and 12 in, and good news, we've got 26.35 kilometres to go, so might be here a while. So we've got just under a half marathon left, which is good, except I've realised that means that I've got probably about another 3 hours worth of running, and yeah, we're not looking forward to that. I feel like the amount of time that this takes up is like so guilt inducing for me, and I'm listening to a podcast now about like exercise and training, just to feel like I'm using this time productively. And I think for me, like, there's such a guilt around exercising and taking such a long time to exercise that like I feel like I need to be like super productive in there. But I was definitely finding that like as we hit the 1.5 hour mark, the negative thoughts were coming in, and I was just trying to think about how like lucky I am to be able to exercise, have the freedom to exercise and like work out when I want to be able to work out, and yeah, plan my day. But yeah, it's definitely a skill and a mindset that I'm like trying to work towards. But 3 more hours to go, hopefully we'll be done before then, and yeah, let's keep going. Less than 20 to go. Halfway. Somewhere around the 25-kilometer mark, my body just felt tired and I didn't really have any more to give. So I started walking and realised, like any true northerner, there's probably a Greggs around the corner. So I stopped off, got myself a gingerbread man, and that sorted out a lot of my problems. And thanks to the ginger fella, I then had a bit more of a spring in my step and I actually felt like I could complete the run. Well, that plus the new Olivia Rodrigo song on repeat until I actually got home. So I completely crashed after yesterday's run. I did not have any energy left in me to record anything or just, all I had to focus on was getting some food in me and some liquid in me so I could actually function again. That last final 14k was tough. I managed to bring it back when I had about 5k to go because I had to just convince myself that I just had a pack run to do. One thing I did give myself was a little bit of a reframe as well around the guilt spending time exercising. And I was thinking about being in uni and how most uni students have that Wednesday afternoon off so that they can do sports / extracurricular stuff. And why not view it like that? That it's just a bit weird that we have that in uni and then don't have that for the rest of our life. We don't have this like active pursuit of like extracurricular. And then I reframed how lucky I feel about being able to exercise and the fact that I do have a flexible job in which I can just go out in the middle of the day and spend 5 hours and 5 minutes running. I'm definitely feeling sore today, so I'm going to be packing in plenty of protein and making sure I get a decent amount of carbohydrates in as well. We did have risotto for dinner, which was excellent for adding those carbs back up. Although it did take me 5 hours and 5 minutes to do this 35 kilometers, so it is making me nervous that having to do an extra 20 kilometers on top of that, like how fast am I realistically going to be able to do this? For me, the ultra isn't necessarily about doing it in a certain speed, it's just about finishing, but there are cut-off times for hitting certain aid stations and hitting certain points on like in completing the course. So hopefully in a few more runs time, a few more long runs time, I'll at least be feeling more confident about hitting that cut-off time, but only time will tell, I guess. So if you want to see how I'm cracking on, you want to see how training's going and ultimately how Ultra Day goes, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want to keep hanging out, this is a video that I would recommend watching next.